Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you know when I go live. Sometimes I might put up 5:30. It ends up being 6. Sometimes I might just live stream with no notification, and sometimes I might move things out a few hours. It's called life. Appreciate the support, everyone, on the thumbs up. So for today's live stream, I do have a few charts up that I did want to talk about. We're going to look at a few new charts that we haven't looked at before. We're also going to revisit a couple charts that I haven't spoken to with you guys in a while, at least a decent amount of time. And then I'm going to leave plenty of time for Q&A. It's going to go a lot quicker for me on this end this time, and that's intentional. I went over a lot of monthly charts. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to check it out. Yo, YC, Brian, welcome in. Alt season indeed. Let's discuss this week. We'll have a week certainly taking a look at that. Rakesh, thank you for the kind wishes. You have a very good memory. Yeah, I'm starting to clear up. I just had a little bit of a cold there for a while, but I will say, maybe this is a little TMI, but when you have a cold or you have something going on, the amount of mucus that can develop in your system, like I last night blew my nose more times than I can count. There was shit coming out of my nose, a lot of shit coming out of my nose. No, but I'm feeling a lot better. So, all right, let's get into it. So let's kick things off like we normally do. Kevin, good to see you in here. Glad to hear I sound like myself. I'm going to leave the price action up here. You can see we're pretty much in green today. H-bar is the only thing on my main list here that isn't a small correction just because it moved up so significantly. Nothing that I didn't expect and nothing that should catch anyone by surprise, right? You want to see ups and downs to build healthy consolidation, but ultimately you want to build higher highs and higher lows. So no concern there. I want to take a look at something with you on the Bitcoin chart. Kind of talk about this. Let me get that off of there. This price action, I had tweeted out. Okay, this is me just drawing out a technical pattern. That's all it is. You can't debate with me whether or not the pattern exists. The only thing you can debate with me is the likelihood of it playing out, okay? This is a bull pennant, okay? So I would draw the top of the pole here. Now, what is a bull pennant? Let's actually just talk about this just so everyone understands this. I don't want to draw a bunch of lines on the screen. Nobody has any fucking clue what I'm talking about. This is a pole. So what happens is you see a large increase in price, right? We have several candlesticks here, pretty much a vertical line straight up, right? Now, what happens is for a bull flag or bull pennant, the pennant or flag is just shaped differently. But essentially what you see is consolidation. The other thing that's important to see is you see volume declining. That is healthy, okay? We see an uptick in volume. These are your volume bars. We see an uptick in volume and then a downturn in volume once we're in the pennant, okay, or the flag. This is a true technical pattern. And the way that you measure this, okay, this has not been my primary hypothesis. As I said on Twitter, I was expecting a little bit more of somewhat a breakdown before we moved up, but that does not. I'm starting to lean towards us getting a big breakout. Now, let's say we broke out right around this area here on Thursday. You would measure it from the point of the breakout. You use the pole as being the distance vertically up. And if we take a look at what that puts us at, it puts us at just shy of 42,000, okay? If we did it in a similar time fashion, we'd be looking at like mid-April. Do I think that Bitcoin's going to be up at $42,000 within the next like 2 weeks? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. But I will say this. One, this is a valid pattern. Two, again, going back to my primary hypothesis, being part of that like 1% that really believes that there's new all-time highs in store for both the equity markets as well as cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. April and May should reveal themselves as being very big months for crypto. We should see some large increases in valuations in the entire market. Not only in Bitcoin, but a lot of your altcoins. You should see that money sort of flow out of the bigger coins and go into some of the smaller coins. We should see some strong moves here coming up in April and May. And we'll also get into some additional charts that help to support that thought process. You know, we still got tomorrow, we got Thursday, we got Friday. So we have plenty of time this week to kind of delve into some charts that speak to us seeing a likely breakout in altcoins and in the market relatively soon. But the only other thing I'd point out on this chart, valid pattern puts us up to close to 42. We do have negative divergence that's still existing on the RSI. I want to bring this to everyone's attention. Now, this is a 12-hour chart. You can see there's a high here when price was up in this region. We have a lower high here. Okay, this is a lower high than over here. This is measuring it like in the 70s. No, wait, no, sorry, I apologize. Yeah, 78, and this is up at 94, so it's definitely lower. And price was all the way up here, right? So a little bit of negative divergence in the RSI, something to keep an eye on that may eventually play out in the price. The thing that I don't want people to confuse with my words is I'm not telling you this is what's going to happen. This is a pattern with a certain probability, okay? There's a probability for the price to break out of this bull pennant and for us to see a break up to 42. There's a probability for this to break down, okay? There's a probability to fake out, go up and fake everyone out and come down, okay? There are and people hate this. People that are not statistically inclined hate the idea that there's a fucking probability for everything. Just tell me what's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen. If you're watching a channel that's telling you on, you know, April 15th, this is going to happen, probably a good time to unsubscribe to that channel. I can't tell you what's going to happen. All I can tell you is inferences based on the data, everybody. Inferences based on the data. DT is in the motherfucking house. DT is one of my long-time followers and supporters, and I appreciate seeing you. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're having some coffee. What's up, Matthew? Glad to see you in. So on the TA Q&A, and I appreciate you asking this, Matthew, for that segment, just so I don't lose track of what to chart here, just wait until I actually say that it's the time for this segment so you can bring up your altcoins. I just don't want to lose track. It's kind of hard in the chat. So just keep that to the end, but I'll keep that in mind. It's interesting you said about charting this out, Matthew, because I actually was taking a look at this project recently, as well as the chart, which we'll get into. There's some nice symmetry there relative to Digibyte, so we'll get into that. Digibyte had far further price appreciation, but the setup at least looks a little bit similar in terms of market structure, which I like. 3-day, just wanted to point this out on Bitcoin. Keep an eye on this 125. Keep an eye on the 125. Right now, it's the 10-year-old in me. I won't tell you what I see in the chart. Maybe you don't see it in the chart, but looking at this, I see something. But anyway, what I was going to get to is the more we see the 3-day candlesticks hang up here, it's just going to cause the 125 to flatten out and go up. Now, again, I think some people take what I say the wrong way and don't really infer what it is that I'm trying to say. Remember, I tried to give a floor for how low price could go. I'm not telling you Bitcoin's going to hit 22,500. I just tried to come up with a range based on history. But the idea is, I would keep this in mind. I think this is the bigger important point to keep in mind from the last TA video I put out on Bitcoin. Welcome to everyone new tuning in. Once we have sustained price action below here, remember this salty market, when we start to get bullish and we have 3-day closes above the 125, simple moving average, historically, I think this is the most important point you could keep in mind. We have never, and there's limited price data, but we've never come back down and started getting candle body closes below here and lower. I'm trying to use this chart to assess a probability that we're going to maintain prices above this level and just continue moving higher. So the important thing to keep in mind is key punchline, okay? Pull up a 3-day chart, look at the 125. At this point, okay, you shouldn't see prices going below the 125 simple moving average. And if they do, it will be temporary, very quick, and the 3-day candlestick should close above it. That's really ultimately what you want to look for. And again, this is one of those value-added charts I've spoken to on this channel. No one else, I can claim fame to this if it continues to work out because no one else has spoken to the significance here. And again, you should use my charts and others to kind of add to your arsenal. Kevin, welcome in, brother. I have not mentioned Phantom. Save the TA questions for the end, and we'll definitely get to them. I'm going to leave a lot of time for Q&A. I wanted to spend quite a bit of time on that. Although I thought I just looked at Phantom, didn't I? Well, Well, get into it. I thought I charted that out recently. Let's get off the watch list and let's get to price action on artificial liquid intelligence. So I believe, especially given that I think the market is setting itself up for a large move in the alt space as well coming up here shortly, I think artificial liquid intelligence, Ali, has hit a floor level. And I'll tell you why. If we just look at price action, okay, this is a 6 hour, we don't have a lot of price data, so I really have to zoom in on a more lower time frame. You can see, okay, I'm using the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks here. You can see right in this range, there's a lot of support once we got above it, right? Okay, so I want you to keep that fact in mind, a lot of support there. Fast forward to the current times, we're coming up on this same area, and that area is between 3.4 and 3.2 cents. The other interesting component to this, we are in a falling wedge, okay? We're in a falling wedge, all right? So we're in a falling wedge. We're at the bottom of the wedge. There's a lot of price resistance in here, and there's one other thing I would point out. There is a lot of bullish divergence. High, higher high, higher high, higher high, lower low, lower low, lower low, okay? Bullish divergence on the RSI relative to the price. And the RSI is coiled up in here. Look at the descending resistance above. Even though we got the bullish divergence, there's still these lower highs coming in. Something is going to happen soon, okay? Most likely, there's going to be a big move up or a big move down soon. And given the chart setup, there's a higher likelihood there will be a large move up in ticker symbol ALI in the very short term. It is Tuesday, April 4th, and I feel confident in asserting that in the short term here, you should see a large move, either up or down, higher likelihood up. We will come back and revisit this commentary to see if that plays out. That's ALI. Ocean is a new chart that I wanted to take a look at. You guys can see I finally put up a watch list for me on crypto AI. There were a couple other tokens I wanted to add here. One of my supporters here, one of you guys brought up another project, and the ticker symbol started with the letter B. I forget the name of it, but I remember the chart setup being interesting. And I didn't save the chart, I don't think. So if you can happen to recall what that is, I'd appreciate it. It's not listed on major U.S. exchanges. And I'm trying to remember what that symbol is. But this is my crypto AI list. It's something I want to spend a little bit more time on with you guys to examine some of these charts. And I'm using them as well for my sort of investment strategy moving forward into this upcoming fifth wave. Because I believe one of the things you have to understand is there's a lot of speculation still in this space, right? So one of the things you want to properly do one of the things you want to evaluate in this market to maximize the potential of your investment returns is to understand what the current narratives are. And there's absolutely no question whatsoever that right now a large narrative within the cryptocurrency market and just in business in general and technology is artificial intelligence, right? So I think it could benefit you to smartly, never financial advice, but to allocate some percentage of your portfolio to an asset or some assets, a basket of assets that are in the AI space. And the reason for that is because when FOMO comes into the market, and if this is a big narrative, there's a lot of dollars that are going to flood into that, and it leads to a lot of volatility. You have to capture that volatility successfully by scaling out of your investments, which I speak to very routinely on this channel. But it would also benefit your investment portfolio if you see a 100x possibility versus a 20x possibility, right? Just having that diversity within your portfolio, okay, is very, very important. So this is Ocean, ticker symbol. I mean, it's the fucking word Ocean. If you can't spell that, please stop watching this YouTube channel if you can't spell the word Ocean. Go back to school. Eat your vitamins. Go to school. What did Hulk Hogan used to say? I'm dating myself. But Ocean here, this is on the weekly. This is a great chart setup. You can see these green areas of resistance, or excuse me, support. We've gotten back above this key zone here, right around 28.5 to 24 cents. Very key area for Ocean to get back above. It looked like we were sort of in this broadening wedge, which is actually a bullish pattern. could draw this a little more like this. Sort of a broadening wedge, so it's a little more narrow up here and it gets wider at the bottom. You can see we have since broken out. It's no surprise where we failed to get above. We're at resistance here, okay? It wouldn't surprise me to get a back test near 29, say 29 cents. We're currently sitting at 36. These are volatile assets. For you to see some sort of level of volatility in Ocean that sent it from 35 cents down to 29 would, be par for the course. Thumbs up to everyone new tuning in. Appreciate it. But anything in this area, and quite frankly, anything in the current area we're at, in my opinion, is a great buying opportunity, because what I would expect on Ocean next, I would expect the next time we come up to here, we're going to see some volume. And now we're talking about Ocean being all the way up between 58 and 75 cents. And I could see if April and May, wow, I don't know what that was. If April and May are going to be as bullish as I suspect they're going to be, then it's very likely we're going to break up towards 58 to 75 cents. Once we get up into the 75-cent area, let's revisit the conversation, but that's what I see there. Fed AI, you guys know about this one. A lot of people have been speaking about this, having patterns that are, the price pattern is similar to Bitcoin. It's sort of front-running Bitcoin. If that's true, this has retraced to the 0.786 fib extension, a similar fib retracement. A similar level on Bitcoin, I believe, is around 42,000. I think it's around 42,000. So if Bitcoin's really following a similar pattern, you should see up at 42,000 sooner rather than later, which would be interesting. But right now, this is just healthy consolidation with where we're at. There's a clear level of support at the 0.618 fib retracement here at about 30.8 cents. Okay, on ticker symbol FET. So that's where I personally would look to scoop some up. Any other areas of price support, you're looking at 29 cents, and then you're looking as low as 22 cents. But I think anything around that 30 to 31 cent area is a buy, in my opinion. The other thing you could draw with this pattern, just kind of eyeballing this, and I'm just doing this now on the spot because I didn't spend a lot of time looking at this. Yes, this is a sort of falling wedge. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you follow what I said before, this is a pole, right? So you could draw a pole, okay? A pole and a pennant, okay? So this could be a bull pennant with a massive break up. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, this looks very, very healthy at the current prices we're at. So this is another bullish stock. One of the other charts I wanted to take a look at, one of the other unique views I've added on this channel that I've spoken to quite a bit in the past, haven't spoken to it as much recently. What you can do in TradingView is you can take any USD value of a cryptocurrency project and you can divide them, okay? And that creates a ratio between the two products, and what that represents is it expresses relative strength or weakness of one project compared to the other project moving up or down, right? That's all it says. It's really what you look at when you're looking at like an ETH BTC chart. You're looking at the price performance of ETH compared to BTC, okay? That's all this chart is doing. It's looking at the price of one, how well is it performing relative to HBAR, okay? And you can see in general, and this is just USD. We're not talking market cap. This is just USD. Harmony 1 is at 2 cents. HBAR is at like 7 cents, okay? So that's all this is doing. But you can see over time, Harmony has been increasing at a higher rate than HBAR, and there's some patterns in here. But what I've used this for, I'm a huge believer in both projects, okay? So I want to make that very clear. Holy Crypto Trinity is behind me. But right now, we're coming up towards a point where I think some sort of major decision is going to be made, okay? We're coiling up right in this area. Use this chart like any other chart, okay? The RSI is also at an interesting area when it tends to be above 50. That's when you see a bullish breakout in this chart and one starts outperforming HBAR. It's been up here a few times and it's gotten below, but it's right in between this 44 and 50 range. Keep an eye on that on the weekly on 1HBAR if you want to chart this yourself. Right in between that 44 to 50. Once we start breaking out above 50, that's when I would suspect we'll start to see a large uptick here. And I do think for this 1HBAR chart, we're going to start to at least get up to areas right in here, okay, right into that 75 to 90% range. What does that mean? Well, right now, if we look at the chart, okay, and we'll come back to on this in a few months and see how accurate I was with this. Right now, 1HBAR is 0.33 essentially. What that means is one's USD value at 2 cents is roughly 33% of HBAR's price at like 6.6 cents, right? So Harmony is 2.2, HBAR 6.6. That's what that's saying. So if we get up into the 75 to 90% range, let's say we're at 90, what that means is if H-bar's price was at 40 cents, Harmony 1 would be at 36, okay? H-bar is at 20 cents. Harmony 1 would be at 18. I think we're going to get up right into that 75 to 90% range at the very least. We'll have to take an eye. Guys, I tweeted something out on 1. I'm not going to go back to the H-bar chart. I'm going to leave plenty of time like I promised for Q&A, but come on, guys, if you're familiar with the H-bar chart, this is looking like the H-bar chart. Did I not just tweet out and retweet the fact that I came out a few days ago and I said, why am I excited about H-bar's price performance? I said, number 1, because it's good for my investment portfolio. Number 2, it is telling us the likely direction of Harmony 1. And then and there was a third reason, and I'm forgetting the third reason. But this is setting up to do the exact same thing that H-bar did, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised to see Harmony 1 up closer to 2.4 cents or at 2.2 cents right now, okay? So that wouldn't surprise me one bit, but very good to see. Big believer in both projects. I hold a substantial amount of both projects as well. One other chart we'll take a look at. We'll get off the graph. We already talked about that. 2 charts, and I'm going to get to some TA Q&A. Make sure to drop your comments on charts you'd like me to take a look at, or any charts that you had questions on that weren't making sense to you. Please feel free to bring those up. 2 charts that I have so far, Syscoin and Phantom. So this is Gala. So right now I am eyeing this. Again, never financial advice. Do your own due diligence here. But I am viewing this as a juicy buying opportunity, and trying to decide if I want to put some new capital in or if I'm going to change up some of my shorter term swing trade positions. But Gala has broken downward resistance, as I've shown here. It was one that got up to or was very close to the 0.382 fib retracement level. And right now, I mean, clear as day, like you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out. Like there's just a certain level of consolidation that's occurring right now. So I'll be curious. I mean, there's no reason Gala could come back down here and test this range, which would be a very attractive buying opportunity between 3 and 3.2 cents. I personally think anything right in here in 4 cents. I think if you're getting Gala under 4 cents, it's a steal. The reason I say that, I hesitate to use words like that because somebody's going to get this clip like 5 years from now when we have a major market correction. Gala's going to be at a penny, and you're gonna anyway. I feel that anything at 4 cents or under 4 cents is a very good buying opportunity in Gala, in my opinion. The all-time highs are all the way up here, 8.85 cents, and I believe we're going to go well past that. Remember, this is just this was wave 1, okay? We haven't had wave 3 yet. So wave 3 are the biggest waves. So, yeah, and then in terms of areas of resistance, obviously we want to clear this swing high here at like 6 cents. But I'm targeting 7.2, let's call it 7.2 cents. You know, I think Gala very quickly under certain market conditions that I think are going to be coming up here could very easily go from 4 all the way up to 7.2 in a heartbeat, okay? So keep an eye on Gala. Last chart that I wanted to cover, and then I'm going to get into questions from you guys, whatever you have for me. This is a chart that I have not posted on in a long time, and we've spent a lot of time talking about XRP. This is the sister coin XLM. This is a monthly view. Does anybody know what this pattern is? Because I tweeted about this relentlessly. And I'm going to put out a tweet again about this. All I can do is share with you what this technical pattern is, and it's up to you to do with it what you will, okay? And I have a technical target drawn at just over $2, somewhere in between $2 and $3. Anybody know what this pattern is? Oh, ears are still. I know there's a little bit of a delay here in the. I wish this was a little bit more real time, to be honest with you. It'll be nice when this gets to a point where I can click on people's names and they can just talk. But anyway, this pattern is a cup and handle. Okay, so you have this rounding feature right here in the handle. Do you see how volume dips off here? Very typical. We've just broken out of this falling wedge slash handle pattern within the cup and handle. Technical target from breakout puts us all the way up over $2. Okay, let's be a little bit more conservative and call it like $2.50, but I drew the technical target, so $2.70. Okay, could XLM Yes, correct. There's a delay. Kevin and Matthew, thank you. There's a huge delay between comments and questions. Cripes. What was I going to say? Now I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, now I know what I was going to say. So could XLM go from 11 cents, 10 and a half, whatever it is, all the way up to 2 and close to 3? Could it pull a 20 or 25x? Ladies and gentlemen, the market cap, let's take a look at something very quick to answer your question, okay? I'm going to answer your question indirectly. Now, I will preface this statement by saying not every crypto project within certain market cap rankings are going to pull the same price appreciation levels, okay? They're not going to pull the same price multiples. But for a moment, just listen to what I'm saying here. Could XLM get somewhere in between $2 to $3, midpoint $250? Could it pull a 24 to 25x from current levels? Okay, it is market cap ranking 25. Okay, now H bar Hedera is right behind it, and you can see 2.048 relative to 2. So this is only 20% higher. Stellar is 20% higher than Hedera, and I can tell you that where I see Hedera going is larger than a 20x, and the math in my head, definitely a 25x or greater. So could XLM have a similar price performance from current levels? Absolutely, I think so. Okay, so just keep in mind, I'm just pointing this out to you guys, and I've been speaking to this for a while. There's a massive cup and handle in XLM. Whether it plays out is anyone's educated guess, but there's a higher statistical likelihood that this pattern will play out in the bullish favor and get somewhere close to this price target. Why? Because there's a certain number of occurrences that occur over history when this pattern presents itself, and based on those number of occurrences, some of them succeed and some of them fail, and it's more granular than that, right? But the percentage that succeed when this pattern is present is higher than the percentage that fail. So that's what I'm saying. There's a higher statistical likelihood this will play out. So something to keep an eye on. Now, I had a few questions come in here. I want to get to them. Drop any questions you have. Guys, I have time here. I have a good 10, 12 minutes if we want to do TA questions, honestly. Like, I got time. Or we can make it a shorter live stream, which is fine by me. The first one was Syscoin, and I was literally just taking a look at this. Smash the motherfucking like. I got the new John in here. John's been replaced by facts over feelings. I like that, facts over feelings. That's nice. So I was taking a look at this project recently. It's funny, I think Matthew asked this question. It's funny you asked this question because I was just charting this and taking a look at it and looking at some of the similarities between Digibyte in terms of its formation. But let's take a look at the fact that, first off, there's a lot of price data here, and I love to see that as a chartist because one of the things that hamstrings us as a technical analyst when we get a chart like Harmony 1 or H-bar is there's not a lot of price data. So if you guys, it's your choice. If you want to follow some people on Twitter that say H-bar is going to $10 this year with absolutely no analysis to back that up, I mean, you're welcome to do that. But all I can do is use the charts as much as I want to allow my emotions to think that H-bar is really going to $10 this year. What I do is I try to put that emotion aside and say I love the project, but let's look at the charts. And the charts are what we use. Again, all in the charts. It's a daily live stream. The charts are what we use to make these educated and informed decisions moving forward. And so when you're hamstrung and you don't have a lot of data, it's very difficult. In this case, we have price data going back to 2015. Beautiful. You can see we have this huge ascending area of support, right, that was temporarily broken, got back above. Now, you know what I would say is we're hovering right around here. Keep in mind these are very volatile assets. This project, and mark my words, come back here 10 years from now, okay? And just to illustrate my point, we don't need to come back here 10 years from now. Let me illustrate what I'm trying to say. Do you think it's reasonable to assume this is going to go out indefinitely? And so by 2029, let's see, 2029, Sys's coin will have a minimum value of $29. Guys, come on. Let's exercise common sense here. You don't want to be the people that people make fun of on Twitter that have these outlandish price targets, right? this is to be expected. We're right around here, but I like that there's market symmetry here, okay? So what do we want to look for on Syscoin? Well, the first thing is there's a clear level. These wicks express buyer exhaustion. They can't really get above this level. They can't sustain themselves. It wants to get above here, but it can't, right? So the first object of desire is to smash 21.2 cents. Get out 21 cents. Let's call it 21 cents. Get it 21 cents and stay above. That's the first thing I would do. All right. And next, Brian, I swear to God, you just commented on red. I feel like I just charted that like 2 days ago. I mean, we could take a look at it. I don't think anything's changed with Ren, but you love yourself some Ren. You love your... Please tell me that's not the only token you're holding. And that's actually a good point. I hope no one here is only holding one token. Again, no offense, it's the dumbest thing you can do. Dumbest thing you can do. Diversify to some degree, okay? Even if you hold 2 coins, if you're a noob in this space and you have just Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is about the most basic you can do, hold 2 coins. But never hold 1 coin. Just busting on you there, Brian. Brianna. Oh, Brianna. Sorry. Now I do remember you because your name is Brianna, not Brian, and I clearly can't read. I'm losing my eyesight. No, we'll take a look at Ren. I'll give it a quick look. I don't think anything's changed. On Syscoin, getting back to Syscoin, here's what I would watch for. Matthew, I want to get back to you. So this is what I would watch for, okay? The main objective here is to get above 21 cents. Once we can get a candle body above 21 cents, we're going to have we should have moderate resistance. We should have moderate resistance between 37 and 33 cents. 37 and 33. Come back and ask me how the chart is looking when we get above and stay above 37 cents. Then there's a real discussion to talk about taking out all-time highs all the way to $1.26, okay? Very, very good-looking chart. Glad you asked the question. Yeah, Brianna, I have dubbed you as Ren. So whenever I see your name now, you are Ren. That is your nickname, Ren, because you just ask about Ren. You must hold a significant amount of Ren. All right, let's get to some questions here. So I know there was another question back here. I think it was Phantom. Who asked that question? Oh, Kevin. Yeah, I think we just charted that one out, honestly. I mean, we'll find out together because I would have saved it. I feel like we just charted that one out, but maybe I'm incorrect. I don't know. I thought we did. Well, when we pull up a blank chart, we're going to find out together because when you put a token back in that you've charted before, of course, you have to use the right exchange. Usually I use Binance. Yeah, I think we talked about this, but we can revisit it. Yeah, so Kevin, main thing that's going on here, this is actually a similar setup to many other charts, okay? It's a really, I just want you guys to appreciate for a moment, very beautiful looking chart, okay? Look at this wave movement up, okay? Correction. This is called consolidation in here. Now we're starting our next impulse. That's exactly what's going on, okay? To me as a chartist who's been looking at these things for many years, and I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I've looked at charts for many years, and I do this in my spare time for fun. This is just a very obvious looking chart. So, but again, most people are not successful in this market because most people think like most people, okay? This was the time to be buying, clearly. But you can say that for 99% of people will say that hindsight, all right? Very clear as day. You know, what I was drawing up here we'll get to, but there's descending resistance here, and there's a clear ascending line here, okay, that you can see. Anything in this area right now, in my opinion, especially, again, given the market conditions on Phantom, I just view it as a buy opportunity. I'm never giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you anything, hell, where we're at right now, 45 cents. Anything between 45 and 35 is a buy, okay? You're not going to time these markets perfect. If you want me to sit here and say, well, that's not good enough, you're telling me 45 to 35. Why can't you tell me like 37.3 cents? You have to tune into another channel. That's not what we do here. I'm identifying ranges that are great buy opportunities for longer term positions. and maybe even some shorter term moves up. But I realize that there's a lot of volatility within crypto. So we identify ranges on this channel, not specific price points on extremely volatile assets. 45 to 35, great buying opportunity, because to me, what I'm looking at is something that when it breaks this resistance, and I think it'll happen soon, we're going to hit up towards this area, which was our prior swing high. But then ultimately, we're talking about 94 cents to $1.18. Once we clear here, 94 cents to $1.18. So this is why you want a dollar cost average in. Buy a little here. If it goes down to 42, buy a little more. It goes down to 41, buy a little more. That's what people, the majority of people who are successful in this market do. They don't wait for specific price points and buy all their position at that price point. That's not what people do. Great question on Phantom. Appreciate it. We'll take a quick look at Ren. I feel like I just looked at that with you guys the other day. I'll let you know if anything has changed. If not, it's going to be a super quick overview. Ren, I want to be cognizant of time and leaving time for other people as well with newer charts. So this is a falling wedge. This is on the Heiken Ashi weekly. Falling wedge, we've broken out of the falling wedge. All of these price wicks express buyer exhaustion. We can't seem to get above this level. There's also a general uptrend, which is good to see. If we look at the price indicators, MACD's getting close up to our 20 trigger line. RSI looks very healthy. It's at 46, 47, looks great. We have a cross down in stochastic RSI, so we might see a little bit of chippy chop consolidation for maybe, it might not even be a week or two. Just something to be aware of. But what I'm expecting in the relative short term, again, because my broader vision is that I'm expecting a large uptick in the altcoins, I would expect, looks like I have two boobs drawn here. What is going on? What is happening on this channel? What am I doing? What is happening? My God, what other channel do you get this content? You get TNA and TA. On this channel, you get TNA and you get TA. All right? I don't know. I try to be funny. Like, whether you find it funny or not, I don't know. I think it's funny. All right, so we got buyer exhaustion here. So the next move, likely what we're going to see, especially supporting the thesis that conditions are really going to pick up bullish in the market, we're going to get up to 12.7 cents and 16 cents, and I think we're going to smash it. Now, what will be most bullish is if we can get a weekly candle to close at or above 16 cents. Let's stay in this area because you know what's going to happen next. There's a high likelihood of 25, then 42, and then 60. Big gaps in here. Lots of opportunity for a small altcoin like this once it breaks with volume to hit another level of resistance and have clear sailing for 30-40% moves, okay? That's the thing what you get with volatile assets like this. You get those sharp volatile movements up as well as down, okay? Bitcoin dominance, Kevin, just covered that. Literally just covered that yesterday. Check out the live stream. You can take a look at it. Nothing has changed. Elrond, Kevin. Yeah, you asked that the other day, brother. Thanks for hanging in there. Bought a huge bag of Phantom at 28. Good. You are a smart man. You are disciplined and you know what you're doing. Congratulations. You are the minority. Let's take a look at Elrond. I remember you asking that question yesterday. This might be this is going to be my last TA question unless I get someone that drops me a token that is just like so undeniably good I can't pass it up. It's going to put off making the pizza I want to make. I want to make a little flatbread pizza. That was the thing. Before this live stream, you have no idea. I felt a pit in my stomach. And I was like, I feel off. Like I feel like something is missing in my life. And that's when I realized I haven't had pizza in a while. So I'm going to make a little flatbread before dinner. And so where am I going with this? The conversation is going in this direction, ladies and gentlemen. I will put off doing that for 5 more minutes if someone drops me one more crypto project that really piques my interest. If not, we'll save it for tomorrow. But this may be the last one. God, sometimes I talk a lot. All right, let's talk. Let's talk about Elrond. All right, fucking Elrond. Frankie, you had to be that dick that has a good question, and now I'm not eating my pizza because honestly, and appreciate it, brother. Honestly, I've never heard of the project, so now you piqued my interest. I have to take a look at it. We've looked at this one before. Okay, well, we've looked at this before, and I'm not getting any price data for some reason, but oh, this is interesting. Let me just chart for a minute, guys. I should put on some soothing, relaxing music for you guys as I chart. I mean, seriously, if I didn't try to inject some level of humor, even if you don't appreciate it, if I didn't inject some level of some realism in this channel, would this not be boring as shit? Like, what if I just came out here like a lot of other channels and I was just like, yeah, here's some charts, and you look for these areas of support. I mean, you got to be somewhat like, you got to know your audience. But I mean, I just can't be like everybody else. I've never been like that. This is just not who I am. So right now, you could make an argument that this is actually in a bear flag. Okay, you could absolutely make that argument. But I want to give you a dose of realism, though. The dose of realism is that the technical target, like let's say we broke out there at like the end of April, the technical target's like a $1.90. I mean, the chances of that breaking down are not the best. The other thing that it looks like it's forming, though, is a falling wedge. Okay, so this is also narrowing down here. Now, I don't want to tell you this bear pennant isn't valid and it couldn't happen. Yeah, it could happen. This thing could go down to $1.90. But do I realistically think that's going to happen? No, I don't think that's going to happen. This more looks like a falling wedge. I think the next break up, we may likely, again with market conditions, break to the upside. Always, Kevin, always glad to help people, especially when they appreciate it. So, area of... I enjoy doing these live streams now every day. I got to tell you, like, it does bring me a certain level of satisfaction, you know, and the thing is, and I'll talk through this chart, the thing is right now with the way my schedule is, I can't do as much content as I would like to, but I do see that changing. Like I said, you know, and some of these things are private, but I have certain goals for myself. So when I do obtain those goals, I will have more time. And that will allow me to put out more content. But I'm glad I can at least do the live streams every day. This is a lot of fun for me. So, and I also wanted this, you know, the way I've sort of envisioned the channel is I'd like the live streams to be a basis of the channel. And I understand I could, I'm having conversations with someone else on the side. I'm going on a tangent right now. I'm having conversations with someone else on the side about growing the channel. But I understand instead if I focus my effort on doing like niche altcoins all the time, that's going to get more views. It will than a live stream on the markets like this. And I do want to continue putting out the niche altcoin videos and the Bitcoin videos as well. Because there's certain projects fundamentally I believe in and I've been invested for some time. And there's also new and interesting projects I want to bring to your guys' attention. But at the same time, I also want to do what I enjoy. I just want to do what I enjoy. And going live and charting and doing some of this stuff live and engaging with you guys is genuinely what I enjoy. So as the channel does continue to grow, like I want this to be a bedrock of what it is that I do. And especially, one other thing I'll say real quick before I get back to this chart. We have two charts to actually get to, and this is, sorry, I'm running over a little, sorry. I do have a lot of thoughts on the channel moving forward, and I would love to collaborate with certain people and have guests on and do some technical stuff and maybe even talk fundamental stuff. But if I'm going to do that, I really would like the bedrock of this channel to be technical analysis. And this is sort of my outlet here. So I appreciate everyone new tuning in and appreciate you listening to my little soapbox story here. Anyway, what I would expect on ticker symbol EGLD is, this is actually a falling wedge is what I believe is going to happen. Once we press up here and get volume, okay, I would suspect the first area of resistance, and you can see it occurred here, here, and all the way back here. We're not going to go to it. There's an area around $63 to $71. 63 to 71 is going to give us a problem. Once we get a candle body close at or above like $70, 71 bucks on the weekly, expect us getting up to 95 relatively soon, and then 120. Now, once we get up to 120 and we start sustaining price levels above 120 on Elrond, let's come back to the chart. I'm clearly laying out to you what's going on in the chart. There's no other reason to come back to this chart until these stair steps happen. We don't need to revisit this, okay? Price indicators look good. RSI is a little low. I want to see that come up. Price indicators look good, though. It's recovering like the rest of the market. Really no reason until we get up to 120, though, to revisit this chart. No reason at all. Appreciate the question. Very clean chart. Very clean chart. We got one more. We have one more chart to get to here. I appreciate the question on this one because I've never heard of the project before. Shout out to Frankie, the motherfucking legend. You like what I did right there? You should add that into your name. You don't want to be Frankie Legend. You want to be Frankie the motherfucking legend. Astar. I just heard someone randomly scream. I don't know what that is. Welcome into the channel if you've just joined. Apparently I have some inmates on the loose down here. Let's look this one up. Is this going to be one of these ranked 2,754? What is this? I've never heard of this project. Maybe it's up in the 200s or 300s, but I don't know. All right, rank number, Cripes. I've never heard of this. I'm glad I may be very happy that you brought this to my attention. This thing is actually ranked pretty high, 131. It's right up there in the Harmony 1 range. Okay, let's see if we can get, what exchanges is this on actually? This will actually help. Markets. It's on Binance, really. I did not see, it's on Binance US as well. Okay, I didn't see that. Let's get some Binance data here. Astar. Okay, here we go. This is good. Okay. So it looks like there's minimal price data. This thing just came out in 2022 in a really shitty time in the market. But a lot of these projects, you know, it's interesting if you go back in time and study a lot of projects. A lot of the ones that really do well are the ones that come out towards the tail end of bearish price action or a bear market. And they ride that euphoric wave, especially depending what the narrative is. So this is one I'll be keeping an eye on. Thank you, Frankie, for bringing this one up. I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive into to learn a little bit about the company and learn about the project as well. So probably that's what I'll be doing while I'll be eating my pizza over here, be honest. Because I mean, I'm always listening to podcasts and doing crypto stuff. When I have time to myself, like I just go all in on this stuff. So anyway, what's real beautiful to see here is a rounding bottom, guys. Come on, you can see that. Rounding bottom, we came up, we've come down. Now we're going to make another move up. The question is, and really I want to give you an area of support too. But that's the picture I would paint. The first question is, where could we expect a level of support? Okay, if we go a little bit lower. And again, I want to give you guys a zone, a nice healthy zone. If we have a pullback, nothing to be scared about. I mean, we could go as low as, I mean, really, again, volatile asset, depending how volatile market conditions are. We're going to call this we're going to round down and be conservative. We're going to call this 4.4 cents, and we're going to call this we're going to round this down to just 5 cents. Well, no, round it to the actual value, round down. So 5.1 to 4.4 cents. So it's quite possible we could see a consolidation in this area, very healthy. But now the question to ask ourselves is, as we continue to see moves up in the market, like I suspect we will see, where could we run into some resistance? Very good question. So the first area, I want to give you a little zone like I typically do. I would go to the top of the wick. Okay. Top of the wick is at about 11.7 cents. So right in between 10 to 11.7 cents is where I would suspect we'll face some resistance when we come up on the way. Now, once we start to get a candle body close above this area at like 11, 12 cents, now we should start feeling very excited. Next major area that I would look for clearing is like 18 cents. So once we can get above the 10 to 11, no, excuse me. Once we can get above and stay above around 11 to 12 cents, maybe it's 10, but 11 to 12 cents, okay? Next key area is 18 cents, all right? Once we get up in that 10 to 18 cent range, let's revisit the chart and take a look at it. Very interesting chart setup, though. Thank you, Frankie Legend, for the question. All right, guys, that will do it for the live stream. Definitely ran over today, but appreciate everyone new tuning in, everyone who continues to support the channel. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back Thursday and Friday. No plans of being out. I'll be in all 3 days. So once again, share this content with at least one person. I thought you found it helpful, but then you DM'd me later and told me that you didn't like it. No, I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, share it with at least one person. Hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment here to show support. And make sure to hit the bell icon for notifications so you know when I get live, all right? I will be back tomorrow with perhaps a different shirt. I always have the white and black shirts on. Maybe I'll surprise everyone. Maybe I'll have like a pink shirt on or a blue shirt on, all right? All right, until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care.